Greetings and welcome to the Frank Silvera Writers Workshop New Playing Reading Series. Immediately following this reading, there will be a moderated critique session where you can offer direct feedback about what you've just watched to the playwright. And now, we're so pleased to present Faces in My Fist by Lisa McCree.
Hello. Thank you. Thank you so much. I am Darryl Wormely, director of this remarkable piece of literature shared with us by a remarkable writer. Thank you, Miss Lisa McCree, for gracing me with Faces in My Fist, a story that speaks to me about anger, life's mistakes, and other demons that can haunt and consume us if we don't take control and retake back our sense of being. Special thanks to Garland Thompson and the Frank Silvera Workshop for making this happen. My hope is that you too will be inspired and gain the inspiration to reclaim your power and to be transformative with it in the process. Enjoy.
Harlem Time, 1950s. Arise. Harry Wills enters the boxing gym. The place looks worn and faded with black and white posters of boxers from the 19s up until 1950s. The posters are worn and edges curled up on the wall. There are also newspaper articles framed on the wall. Pictures of Harry with his managers, other boxers, and fans are hung in a cluttered fashion above a small desk and has a tiny handheld radio, a light, and some pins on top of it. A boxing ring is staged left. It has a broken rope and a blanket and pillows in the corner. A sign that says "Colored" lays at Harry's feet. He bends down and picks it up. He stares at it for a while, then looks around the gym. He looks back down at the sign and throws it into a pile of rubbish along the wall. He hears something tremble, and it startles him.
Who's in here? I said, who's in here? Come out now. If I have to drag you out, I'll show you no mercy.
Hello, sir.
Who are you? Would you like to tell me what you're doing hiding in my property?
I'm Kevin. Kevin Johnson, sir. Like Jack Johnson, but no relation.
That don't answer my question. What you doing here, boy?
I'm sorry, sir. I had no idea this place still belonged to anybody. It has been empty for more than a month because that's just about as long as I've been here. I'm pleased to know it's a colored establishment.
Why? You think because you're a Negro, I'm supposed to just let you trespass on my property?
Well, no, sir. Sorry, sir. I was told this place closed long ago. I saw a colored sign and I ripped it off the wall, thought it was white in here for sure. May I shake your hand, sir?
Harry shrugs his shoulders and watches Kevin approach him with his hand struck out in front of him. He's all about to grab Harry's hand and begins to pump vigorously.
I believe a man can tell a lot about another man just by the way he shakes hands. See, Mr. Wills, I know everything about you. I know every fight you ever had. I know you fought Sam Langford 18 times and you whipped him 6 times. I was just a kid when you fought McVeigh, but...
Well, what you want, boy?
Mr. Wills, I've fallen on some bad luck back home. Mississippi is my birthplace. You know what they say. There's only 3 places a Negro can go: heaven, hell, and up north.
And which of these places is the best to be?
I believe I've reached the best place, sir. This place needs life, sir. It's locked up tight like a museum, a shrine to all these guys who are too old to fight now. No disrespect, sir, but this place is stuck in time.
You breaking in, you squander and a free ride, and then you tell me what to do with my gym? This is a place of peace. Let it sleep. Don't wake the sleeping giants.
Well, sir, maybe if you sell some tickets to this museum, I might be able to afford to get myself a real live trainer. I'm a real quick study, sir, and I practice all the time.
Kevin begins to punch the air, showing off his style and quickness. He notices the look on Harry's face and stops punching the air. He spots a milk crate a few feet away and grabs it, giving it to Harry to sit on. Harry sits down.
I think it's great you got spunked, boy, but there ain't no more fight left in these walls.
Hey, Mr. Wills, give me a shot.
A brick comes flying through the window, glass shatters, and Harry covers his face and Kevin ducks for cover. Shards of glass fall on the floor around him. Kevin jumps up and darts towards the floor.
Don't go out there. Boy, are you crazy?
Kevin runs out the front door. Harry goes to the stairs as if to try to stop Kevin, but before he can stand, Kevin appears in the doorway. Harry shakes his head.
You got heart, but damned if you ain't got any brains in that head.
They gone, Mr. Willis.
Yeah, that'd be a good thing.
These kids around here don't scare me, sir.
Yeah, I can see that. But let me give you some advice that might help you out. If you're ever in the boxing ring and you're just about to KO the biggest man you ever fought in your life, and you thinking that you got the best of him, that can all change in a split second if he pulls a brick out of his shorts and lands it upside the side of your head. Trust me, you're going down fast. Just close your eyes and go to sleep. Moral of the story, don't fight with a brick. Run.
Okay.
I can see you need something to do. I think you've been cooped up in here has dulled your thinking.
Harry reaches in his pockets and pulls out a quarter. He tosses it to Kevin. Kevin catches it.
Run to the corner store and get me that Amsterdam newspaper, boy.
Harry sighs and takes his time getting up. He begins to walk around his gym, stepping over the shards of glass and the brick. He moves towards the desk and sees a frame that is so dusty, no one can tell bruh. The glass is the front dollar, the first dollar he ever made. Harry takes it off the wall to look at it.
White man puts a buck in your pocket, shakes your hand with never no intention of letting you get now step ahead.
He gives the frame one last look and hands it back on the wall. He goes and stands in front of the Jack Dempsey poster.
Dempsey, got away from me. The time is going to come when you are going to have to square up with me. That may not be in this life. And hell ain't that full. Ain't half full.
Harry continues to talk to himself as he picks up odd and ends. He keeps shaking remnants. Kevin enters, running into the gym.
I got you a Jet magazine too. I'll give you 15 cents.
Kevin's arms is outstretched and he runs the paper over to Harry. Kevin is thumbing through the Jet magazine. Harry sees the chair overturned in the corner and he goes to fish it out. It takes him a moment.
You need some help?
Maybe a second or two. I'll go. Yeah. I don't know whether your timing sucks or your intention is not to work.
Harry holds on to the wall for balance as he pulls the chair upright. Kevin rushes over, glued to the Jet magazine. Harry stands on the chair and looks out the broken window.
They showed him. My God. See how they showed him? For the whole world to see.
He shoves the picture up towards Harry, who is still standing on the chair.
Oh my God, you have to see this.
Harry realizes Kevin's not going to let him off the chair. Takes the magazine. He begins to read aloud.
Aroused by America's first lynching in 4 years, the kidnapping and murder by 3 Mississippi white men of a chubby 14-year-old Emmett Lewis Bobo Till because he whistled at a white woman. Says here that the mother, at the mother's request, she wouldn't let the morticians retouch the face. The casket gonna be left open for the whole world to witness the atrocity.
Can they do that? She shouldn't leave the casket open. I would shut it.
Open your eyes to the truth, boy.
Harry hands Kevin back his Jet magazine and climbs down off the chair.
Didn't you say you was from Mississippi, boy? Did you know Emmett Till?
Can't say directly, sir, but I'm sure our kid have crossed paths at least once.
It's a shame, damn shame. Do you want to go to his burial? Maybe you should go to the burial.
I'm not even sure I knew him, sir.
No matter, go. Go see the truth for yourself. Go before they bury him and everyone forgets he existed. I'll pay the trip.
I don't need that kind of truth, sir. I believe my place is here.
It's not here, son. It's not here.
Harry turns away and faces a picture of Jack Dempsey on the wall. He begins to peel up one corner, but the poster would not come down so easy. The glue holds it on super tight.
Why would you want to take down Jack Dempsey? He punished the Great White Hope in 1919. Oh man, did he earn the heavyweight title championship belt the hard way?
I think Chicago has more truth in the cemetery for you than the people on these walls.
Harry turns his back to peel the poster and makes his way to a dirty and dusty chair and sits down. He looks around the room and into the ring with its broken ropes, and then at Kevin's blanket and pillow.
There's no place for a man to live. I mean, the gym may condition the body and the mind for the Negro, but the fight will leave his spirit broken and battered. You'll always be a nigger to them. They don't care who you beat, they will never give you the world belt.
I beg your pardon, sir, but I don't want them to give me anything. I will take it like Jack Johnson did.
Kevin bends down and gets in a boxing stance. He began to punch at the air, breathing quick breaths and gritting with each punch he throws against the air.
I will, sir. I'm going to fight my way to the top of this white world and make it a black world. It will be a black world someday, sir. We will rule.
I had those same dreams, boy. I had big thoughts of changing the world. It's just fighting, boy. All you were ever going to do is fight, and they will never let you wear that world championship belt.
Kevin tucks his chin down and throws a flurry of punches against the air.
You got form, boy, but what you ain't got is a trainer. Get what you came with and go. I can't help you. I can send you to Chicago one way. You go see that boy, and then you find something to settle in and be at peace.
Sounds like you telling me to be a sick dog, grab a bone, bury it, and wait to die. Is that what you're doing, sir? Locking this place up so as nobody else can't fit on the wall? I can't get there by myself, Mr. Wills. You are the greatest fighter I know. You got heart. You don't fear nothing. You just didn't get to fight the white fighters that would have put you on the map. I can be your protege. I can take that belt.
Both men's attention is drawn to the door. There's a man in his 30s standing in the doorway. He has an envelope in his hand.
Excuse me. Do you know where I could find Harry Mills?
Who looking for him?
I am.
Who are you?
Are you Harry Wells? My business is with him.
Well, state your business then.
Tony makes his way across the floor and up to Wills. Tony hands Harry the paper he has in his hand. Kevin goes up to Harry to get a look at the paper also. Harry looks up from the paper, stunned.
A lawyer came to see me at my place in Chicago 2 days ago when I buried my mother. And maybe you remember her, your wife?
Sarah?
Yes, that would be her. I'm fulfilling her last request. One, she wanted me to meet you. I am Tony Gibson, your son.
Gives Harry a full tooth smile. Tony stops smugging and snatches his hand back. He takes out his little notebook and pen and makes a little check mark.
Fulfilled. And two, if you look at the paper I'm providing you with, it should be pretty self-explanatory from there. I have come to take possession of this gym.
Oh, wow. Is that a good thing? Are you opening this place up?
Sarah, what happened to her?
I would say she died of loneliness and betrayal. But she suffered with cancer in her lungs until they filled with so much fluid, it choked out the last breath.
I'm so sorry.
She was very busy in the last few weeks of her life, busy with lawyers and public records and court clerks. She told me of this place. I guess she was not aware of this condition. I'm sure she thought this place was thriving. Nonetheless, I will sell it.
You can't do that. Well, he can't do that, can he, Mr. Wells? This place could thrive again. I could be the first fighter to come from this gym. J.K. Johnson Jr. J.K. That's got a ring to it.
Sarah, I'm sorry she suffered. You look just like her. But I'm sorry, I'm not selling this place. It's not for sale.
So you're going to open it, Mr. Wells?
Kevin backs into a boxing stance and throws a flurry of punches at the air, grunting his image connections.
A title search was done in this property. Was it for no reason, or is it because I'm here to collect?
Gibson, your mother gave you her maiden name?
No, I changed my name when I was 18 to a worthy name.
Kevin is bouncing around the messy, breathing hard. Harry is distraught by him. He turns to Kevin.
Stop that grunting, boy.
What are you doing?
Giving you back your papers.
Why?
Because you can't have you can't have this place.
Why not? You're not doing anything with it.
If it sits empty, that's the way it would sit. But you will not buy or sell this place.
This is 1955. Who the hell cares about what happened in the 20s? It's over. Nobody cares. Rocky Marciano is the world's heavyweight champion right now. Nobody cares about back then. This place could make a lot of money. You know, I could turn this place into a parking lot.
So what are you saying?
Yeah, what is he saying? You can't park cars on top of the greatest men of boxing. Wouldn't that be sacrilegious or something?
Does not a son owe his father more respect?
I owe you?
A boy owes his father, yes.
You a crazy old man.
Tony, listen.
If you think I'm going to stand here and listen to...
You walked into this gym thinking that was your first mistake.
Harry takes a boxing stance, and although he is old, he looks feeble in his position.
Don't you see, boy? In that split second, a man has to make a decision. He can't plan and labor over what his next move will be.
He throws another punch, an uppercut in the air. Kevin, standing nearby, begins to mimic the stance of Harry and throws the punches he sees Harry throwing.
The white man tells you to take your time and think so he can get one step ahead of you, to knock you back. You got to plant your feet and deliver the blow. The reason you can't see the truth is because you want to present it in a certain way so you can recognize it. You got to dig and dance the distance in that ring while you pummel that man standing in front of you to find it. Truth ain't revealed until his heels and shoulders withstand that 10 count. Even then, you may not find the truth. You always question the dive.
Well, maybe you should have told me all this when I was 5 years old. It may have been more useful then.
You didn't need it when you was 5.
I am ready, Mr. Wells. I am ready to fight. I won't think about anything. I'll fight anybody.
Come here, boy. Go to the 3rd floor. See Miss Allen. Tell her Wills sent you. Tell her to cook up my special plate and pile on the collards and cabbage. I got company. 3 plates, okay?
I'm not hungry. I'm leaving soon. I'm expecting my fiance on the 4 o'clock train from Georgia.
Tell her to send 4 plates.
Kevin takes the money and walks by Tony looking at him, then walks out the door. There's an awkward silence for a moment.
Have a seat.
Tony looks around and pulls a weight bench off the right of the desk. He goes to sit. There's a long piece of wood leaning diagonally against the wall.
Have you been sleeping in here?
No.
Listen, Harry, I'm not mad at you or nothing like that. My mom wanted me to come, and this is for her, that's all.
I understand.
She cried a lot at night. Maybe she was crying over you.
You wasn't crying over me, boy. Your mama always cried at night, even when I was there. I guess it does something to a man when he can buckle the knees of his opponent, yet he can't comfort the woman he loves.
Oh, you loved her.
My life changed. You was born and your mama, well, I stayed for as long as I could.
Too much for you, huh?
I tended horses for a while.
You did that for me?
Your mama was beautiful, boy. She looked like a little black China doll.
Well, that was a long time ago. You did not see her in the last days.
I loved your mama, but as much as I loved her, I couldn't be around her. I had to fight all the time. I stayed so jealous of anybody looking at her. I had to stay in the ring to keep from going to jail.
Yeah, I really don't want to hear about all this. I get it. You chose fighting over family.
I chose who I was. I didn't lie to you or your mama. The truth ain't always pretty. I guess nobody shows you what the truth looked like, so you imagine it the way you needed to see it.
Oh, so this is all my fault. I'm not looking at things right. My perspective is all wrong. I get it.
Let me see if I can show you something.
Harry gets up and finds the Jet magazine. He flips through the pages, then hands it to Tony.
Took 4 days for them 3 men to find Emmett Till. Now see if you can imagine what they was thinking about, what they was plotting and planning the entire time, how they were hating that black boy all the while. Now, how is what I do any different? I don't care about a man's color, age, or his family. When I get paid to plot and plan and annihilate my opponent. The ring is no place for ethics, just rules and control. I'd kill that man. I can't kill that man, but I can think about, I could think it. I can punish and punch him until I bring him down. I can wish him dead until the count of 10. No, there isn't any room to think of anyone else.
Yeah, it seems pretty different to me. I think you might be giving yourself too much credit. But hey, if you want to be like those white men, then be my guest.
Is that the kind of hate you teach a boy?
Well, at least you would have taught me something.
You're fine. Your mama did what was right by you. Man got to choose something, in life and stick to it no matter what.
Do you know I own a stationery store in Chicago? Well, how would you know that? I figure you could come do some cars. Yeah, sentiments are just what my company needs. Eloquent excuses and pitiful stories.
Harry gets up and goes over to the ring. He reaches for and pulls the blanket to him.
You know, I never heard of you as a boxer. Never listened to any of your fights on the radio either.
This place just needs a coat of paint. Since when does a gym sparkle like a hotel lot?
Yeah, I never even seen you on TV. I heard you took some money to avoid fighting Jack Dempsey. You didn't even die. You just took the money. Another nigger bought and sold.
Kevin is standing in the doorway with bags of food from some upstairs. Kevin drops the bag of food in the doorway and runs over to Harry.
That's a lie.
Yeah. You better be careful who you worship, little man. Maybe he is describing himself in that magazine.
You don't know what you're talking about.
Tell him the truth. Tell him he's lying.
Son, it's not what you would think. Now,
Kevin stands over Harry. Harry has to stand to get out from under Kevin's presence.
Why would you come in here with these accusations? You are a liar. You are hurt because he left you.
Kevin.
No, do not defend me. I can speak for myself. I am fine, remember? Who are you? Do you want something from this man?
I'm going to be the greatest Negro fighter there ever was.
Then you in the wrong place, little man. There ain't no champion that ever stepped foot out of that ring.
I don't know what your mama told you about me, but I suggest you measure a man by your own ruler and not somebody else's.
Harry stands there for a moment looking at Tony, then walks to the door and picks up the bag of food. He looks inside one bag.
Damn. There's so much ugliness in this world. We all play our part. We can't see it in ourselves, only others.
Harry reaches in the bags and pulls out a paper plate that is wrapped in foil. All the food has slid to one side and it is all mushed together. Harry removes the foil, grabs a plastic fork, and makes his way over to his son. He holds the plate in front of him. His son does not take the plate right away. His father persists, never falters, and the son finally takes the plate. Harry goes back to the desk to get a plate for Kevin.
How would anyone know what hate was if he didn't feel hate? Eat this food, son.
Harry licks his finger and hands Kevin a plate, forcing him down in a chair to eat. Kevin sits the plate aside.
Did you take the money?
Yes.
Shut up. Did you take the money?
Which face is more ugly now?
Yes and no.
You took the dive?
No.
They bought his ass.
That's not how it was.
Did you dive, yes or no?
Boy, what do you think? I can't train you up because the fight ain't in this ring, boy. It's in the world.
Hey, he's trying not to tell you he took the money.
You can't fathom the madness. You think you know. You know nothing.
Tell him then. Tell him the truth.
The truth is we have no choices. That's the great lie, the great cover up. Niggas will never be free. You think you free? My great-grandfather bought his freedom. He was a free man, and he was more free than you and I will ever know. He didn't want no parts of them, the white man. He didn't want their land. He didn't want nothing. That made him free.
Oh, your ancestors got excuses written all over and in between them. And
I only want to know the truth.
the truth is in that casket, boy. It will bury you.
Dempsey didn't want to fight me.
How do you know? You never got near him. It was in the papers. You never got the chance. You had to fight Furbo because Dempsey was putting you off. You was never near him or you would have secured the fight.
I was near him. I shook his hand. I tried to.
The paper said I didn't meet Dempsey. Those were your words.
No, those were their words. My words were, I don't ever expect to meet Dempsey in the ring. That's what I said. I knew he was kidding me along. I knew in my gut that man would never step foot in the ring with me. I fought harder to get in the ring with that man than any other bout I ever fought. The more I swung, the further away he got.
So you couldn't have taken the dive. You were never in the ring.
He didn't need to. He took the money and ran.
No way. No man gives up the shot for a world championship.
For 50 grand, they do. Ask him.
They would not let no Negroes win the world championship.
Jack Johnson did. He won it. He won it without question.
Winning it without question is not the issue. You can't step into the ring and whoop on no white man, even if you is calling him Mr. all the while you beating on him. And you screwing this woman at night. Seems like any way you flip the scenario, some white man is getting screwed some kind of way. And it don't come out without great cost to Negroes either. They were swinging from trees because of it. Skulls separating from their spines because a nigga was on top of the white world. They never gonna let a Negro be on top of their world, ever. They will crush him down, brick by brick. Mark my words.
So why fight if we can't be on top? If it's killing our people?
50 grand. I'd fight too, or maybe I want to have to.
War is in a man's fabric. Can't help it. Fight is in my blood. Maybe it's this world we live in, and the white man has got his foot on the Negro's neck. The only place a Negro can choke the hell out of a white man legally is in the ring. Maybe for every blow, every broken nose, every humiliation of a white man at the hands of a Negro is payback.
Why take the money?
I had no choice.
You ate the canvas?
They paid him too much. He didn't have to get dirty. He just got ink on his fingers.
Your fight is with me, boy. Don't squash his dream.
You are not his dream.
There's nothing I could have done. I'm telling you, boy, nothing.
You are the worst kind of liar.
I was robbed of the world championship. Open your eyes, boy.
You are what's ugly in the world. You protect your lies in this place. That's why you won't change it. You need it to stay the same. You need it stuck in time.
Look, find yourself a real trainer. He could never have taught me about character.
I can't believe you lied to me.
I ain't lied to you. What you asked me, and what did I answer? Did I give what answer did I give that was misleading or untrue? I told you to go to see firsthand the ugly in the world. I wanted you to see it for yourself, not through my eyes. I wanted to prepare you to harden your heart so it would lead. I would not lead you astray from your battles.
I am asking you, but you cannot answer me solidly.
Yeah.
Did you take the money?
Yes, damn it. Yes.
Kevin flies into a rage. He goes to the wall of boxing grates and begins to punch and kick the wall.
I was robbed. They was never going to let me at Dempsey. Never.
You're a liar, a fake. Everything you have ever done is a lie.
No. It's not what you think.
Harry hurries over to Kevin and grabs
Get
hold
off me. Let me go.
He is a coward. I never heard of him before.
Is this who you are? You have that much hate for a man that you claim you don't even know. It's because you think I did or didn't do something for you.
Get off of me. Let me go.
You hate this boy so much that you want to destroy him, to get at me. Stop. Control, boy. Harness it. Use it. Damage the opponent, but never the weapon.
Harry takes Kevin's wrist and shakes his hand high in the air as boxers who want to fight with his hand raised in the air. Kevin snatches his hand away.
Teach him how to be a cowardly nigger.
Harry spins around so fast, Kevin curls back for a moment. Harry does not rush, but with fierce intention, he walks towards his son. Tony, who had been toying with his plate of food, places it on the floor and stands. Although he is angry, he is also afraid. Harry walks to the rings. He snatches the blanket from the ring floor and throws it aside. He walks around until he can reach the pillow and throws that out of the ring. He grabs the broken ropes and flings it outside of the canvas. He walks straight to his son's face and puts his finger right on Tony's nose.
Get your ass in that ring.
Tony moves his head to the side to remove Harry's finger, but he will not touch Harry's hand. Harry again moves his finger to his son's nose. Tony's backs his head up.
I said, get in the ring. I'm going to give you your first lesson, son. I'm going to bring you to the root of the word nigger. I want to educate you so the next time someone claiming to be a man calls you that, you will allow him to experience what it really means. And after, if he still able to speak that word, you have not articulated yourself well. Because when you do that, when you do that, word will be whipped from his vocabulary forever. I promise you.
I didn't mean it that way.
It's the only one way to mean it, boy. Let me see those hands.
Kevin is in a big reckoning, but walls over to Harry. Harry lifts up the corner skirt to the ring, and there's a bucket. He slides the bucket out and reaches into and pulls out a gaunt and tape. He pulls the nearby chair over and he sits on the edge of the ring. While Kevin sits in the chair, he begins to tape Kevin's hands.
Mr. Patty was my manager for 17 years. That man was like a father to me. I remember he tried to get me to go to another manager, but I was loyal. I was his favorite. Never needed to sign no papers with him neither. His word was like the law. He didn't break it. I remember old Mr. Patty called Dempsey out, and he called him out. He called him Yeller. Said he was afraid to fight a colored man.
You were supposed to fight 3 fights to get to Dempsey.
Yes, but that didn't happen. It was like hell trying to get those fights lined up. It was like the whole world knew what I wanted, but was on Dempsey's side. They played the waiting game for 6 years.
That's when you fought Furpo.
Yes, I went head to head with Furpo.
It took you 11 rounds.
12.
I won it in 12.
It was a draw.
Everybody knows I won. I just got tired of waiting, tired of being twice as good and still the odds stacked against me. I'm old now. I just want to keep my memories and live in peace.
You know, the ugly world surrounds you, and these walls will not save you. They ain't gonna let you forget that as great as you think you were, nobody is going to remember you. All they will ever know is the $50,000 you took. The dollar sign will be like a scarlet letter seared inside your boxing glove.
I have to go back now. I have to scrutinize. I have to question play by play, punch for punch, 32 victories by knockdown. I have to check the connection. What was the combination? Was it too easy? Did the sweat fly? Is there hardcore evidence? Or is this some poor dumb nigga eat the mat to collect his payday?
Mr. Patty did everything in his power to get me a fight with Dempsey.
Now, I ought to just sell the place and be done with it. A parking lot would make me money, and I wouldn't have to live in this filthy city with these gangs destroying everything.
You could sell it to me. I can make it what it's supposed to be. A place for real champions.
Unless you plan to be a stevedore the rest of your entire life, I would refrain from hitting brick walls. You boys think you know everything there is about being a man. You're still wet behind the ears. I'm going to take both of you to Chicago to see Emmett Till. You'll soil your pants in fear. I don't know what this world's made of yet, but you had your mama protecting you, absorbing all the hate until it ate her up from the inside. And you hiding in another man's memory where it's safe. You can tear down posters and punch walls till your fists bleed and think that'll erase the memories. Get the hell out in the world and make your own memories. I have enough people riding my back to last me a lifetime. You think your hands hurt? This world will chop off your head and chop off your head and shove it up your ass and don't care how it makes your food taste.
This is what you do. You try to intimidate, but you don't scare me. I'm not afraid of you. He may be scared to ask you, but I ain't. Why did you take the money?
Nothing worse than a broke fool standing on principle. It was my purse, whether I stepped into the ring or not. Refuse $50,000 and do what? Stand on the bread line with my pride? Why?
For me, your son, to teach me character.
Don't you have character?
Yes, but I didn't get it from you.
But you got it.
You never made sacrifices for me.
We all make sacrifices, boy.
Mom made all the sacrifices.
You saw your mother make some sacrifices, but don't mean that nobody wasn't in the background pulling the strings to keep you two afloat.
Maybe I'll go back to Mississippi, find a gym trainer, and like you say, make my own memories.
This blows. I don't know why I came. I should have sent my lawyer to settle the details. There's nothing for me here.
Tony stands and approaches Harry. He stands in front of him, but not so very close. And because of their last incident, Tony leans in a bit to his father.
I hope you have a good life, old man. Only you have to live with your tall tales and selfish-ass attitude. I'm getting married and build my own life, have my own kids and take care of them and make way more than 50 grand. And just for a second, Jack Dempsey would have kicked your ass.
The room is incredibly quiet for one quick moment. And then all of a sudden, a sound immaculates from deep within Harry. That sounds like a wounded bear. Harry's on his feet in a blurry moment and has Tony's neck between his hands, squeezing. The anger that rises in Harry makes him appear like a crazed man. Kevin is in shock as Tony's grabbing at Henry's head, trying to break free from his grasp.
I would have killed him. I don't know. You don't know what it is to want to kill a man. I fought all the way to him and he dismissed me. I was a man who earned a fight with him. Everything I worked for meant nothing to him.
Let go, Mr. Wills. Let go.
I dreamt about this man sitting at my table, taking food from my mouth and laughing at me. He whipped me until my back bled. Then they spit between my open wounds and the pain. I have never felt such hate for a man. I wanted to wound him so deep it would exterminate his unborn children.
You're killing her, Mr. Wills.
You ain't got to be no white man to want to murder somebody in cold blood because of rage, boy. You just got to feel the hate, to feel like you've been robbed and wronged. You got to feel caged enough that death is the only freedom, boy. And if you think that that man would have whipped me in the ring that my blood paid for, then you ain't met my anger, boy. You should fall down and thank the Almighty God that you worship on Easter Sundays and Christmas, that I left you and saved you from catching my hate, because the ring is the only thing that saved me. I would have killed that man. I would have killed him twice. I would have killed anybody who says differently. The world is ugly. Is this world ugly enough now for you, boy?
Tony cannot breathe and is turning blue.
Huh?
Kevin's trying to remove his hand.
Speak up, boy. I can't hear your hate.
Harry pulls Tony's face close to his ear. Then, as if he realizes what he's doing, he lets go and Tony's knees buckle. He falls on the floor. Harry cries.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Act 2. Kevin is sitting in the middle of the ring and Harry is sitting on the edge, leaning against the ropes. The both of them are quiet and solemn for a few moments. Kevin breaks the silence.
I don't know if there's a way to become a different kind of boxer.
What do you mean?
Like, is there a way to enjoy it and not get swallowed up in the hate?
I guess it's like you're saying, how do you be a slave and not want to escape? Is it even possible? And if it is, then it changes what it is. Ain't no longer slavery. Boxing ain't boxing without hate.
But it's a competition of the fittest.
Don't be no fool, boy. You ain't wearing no flat sandals and metal skirts and racing chariots to appease the gods. That was competition. This is survival. You are a Negro, a colored man, 90 years off the plantation, and not a damn thing has changed.
Harry reaches on the chair for the Jet magazine. He flings it over to Kevin.
Not a damn thing. And if you ain't got the stomach for it, give it up now.
Kevin sucks his teeth and stands up. He walks the gym floor, studying each poster as if he's seeing it again for the first time.
Do you think he will come back?
Would you?
You try and killing me, I ain't coming back.
Lost my head.
What makes a father so mad he would try and kill his son?
I wasn't trying.
Don't tell me about it. I'm just saying, you know what you do that makes me really mad?
What?
You have an opinion about everything.
You don't have to listen to what I say.
I know I don't.
Won't hurt you to get a little wisdom, though.
You say Jack Johnson was a bad thing because black people got lynched when he won. But if he didn't fight, you wouldn't have been able to get in the ring.
I'm not saying what he did was a bad thing. When doors are broken down, people bound to get smashed.
But if it was you and you had the chance to be on top of the world, would you still fight knowing it was killing your own people?
Yes.
Why?
Fighting prejudices is always going to leave victims in its past. It's designed that way. I don't make the rules, boy. I'm just in the game.
He's still whipping you, you know.
What you saying, boy?
You ain't that fast, Mr. Wills. And I ain't fool enough to breathe down your throat while talking shit to your face.
What do you mean?
Can't you see, Mr. Wills? You was outmaneuvered. Dempsey whipped you. He beat you good. While you was watching Dempsey in the ring, studying his moves, getting his rhythm down, and smelling the stench from his fighting, he was studying you too. He knew you wanted to kill him, that you dreamed about the day you could humiliate him before the world. But he was getting down your rhythm, smelling your stench, and he never gave you what you wanted. Never answered that question for you. He didn't want to kill you, Mr. Wills. He didn't have to want to. You did the deed for him. You kill yourself with him every day. You swallow that poison pill with your coffee every morning and you wither. Look at you. You can't even pass along the knowledge you got. You got quick and thoughtful anecdotes, but what else do you have? What you going to give a kid like me? You so busy trying to get me to go see about Emmett Till, but what is it you really trying to show me? What is it you don't want me to see? I may be some kid from the backwoods of Mississippi, but I ain't dumb. I see you, Mr. Wills. I see you, Mr. Wills.
Harry gets up and crosses the room and stands in front of Dempsey's poster. Kevin gives his room, but does not back up in fear. Harry speaks to the poster of Dempsey.
Brown Panther, Kid Blackie. Would have been a fight to the death. I promise you that. You played me like a big stack at the poker table. You protected and I went all in. You danced me around the ring, wore me out, then you descended and put a whooping on me. Son of a... you're smart.
Harry laughs even harder. Soon, his laughter so hard he begins to cry. He tries to compose himself in front of Kevin, but he cannot help himself. All his anger and pain floods to the surface.
Son of a bitch! Son of a bitch!
Harry gets a burst of energy, and he tears up the Dempsey poster, ripping it in half. He throws the half in his hands to the floor. Kevin runs and gets Mr. Wills a chair.
Please, sit down, Mr. Wills. It's okay. You could never win them all, Mr. Wills.
You could never win with them. I know. I'm okay, boy.
Grandpa knows Moses Wright.
Who?
Moses Wright, Emmett Till's uncle.
Really?
Yes.
That's great.
Do you know why I'm telling you this?
No.
Because you said what those men did to Emmett Till represents the ugly in the world. But I don't see it that way at all. His uncle is a preacher. So isn't that kind of like God in a way? And Emmett, isn't he like Jesus? The fact that he was crucified and all the people going to see him, the chosen ones going to get a glimpse, perhaps touch his garment and be changed. Don't you see that by going to see his face, it is beyond the hate that those men had? He is teaching us, bringing us together.
I see that. But don't you ever stop worshiping that God in heaven, boy. What time is it?
I don't know, maybe around 5.
Are you heading back to Mississippi?
I'm not sure.
Is you running from the law board?
Not so much the law, but I am running.
From?
Well, I lied to you about one thing. I haven't been here a month. I got here yesterday. But when I said I was here a month and you didn't say anything, I figured it was safe to stay longer if need be, because you ain't checking the place out that much anyway.
Why can't you go home?
Oh, I can, I guess. Suppose I just don't want to.
Why?
Well, Althea's papa for one. We've been going steady for 7 months. Well, she got in a bit of trouble and her papa sent her here somewhere up here.
So wait, what you gonna do?
I'm going to marry her. I was just a little scared when I found out. Anybody would be scared hearing something like that. I'm going to find her kinfolk up here. Can't be that hard finding a gal from Mississippi and she's sticking out like a sore thumb.
So what about you wanting to be a boxer?
Oh, I do. I am. I am going to be a boxer. I was training in Mississippi. My friend Trek and I always traded in the woods. I'm 24, that ain't so young. I just need to get started so I can take care of Althea and the baby when it gets here.
I'm sure you will do what's best for you, kid. You seem like you have a solid grasp. You just need a little push in the right direction. What's wrong with you, boy?
I'm hungry.
There's some food in the bag over there.
It's cold.
Next time a man buys you dinner, make sure you eat it while it's hot. No telling when he might feed you again. Hey, boy, don't eat no cabbage, boy, no cold cabbage. They'll put a whipping on you worse than any man in the rain. Take it to Miss Alma and ask her to warm it up for you. Let her know you'd be greatly obliged.
Kevin takes the plate in the bag and heads towards the door. He turns to Harry before he exits and says nothing. He turns and leaves. Harry sits there for a moment. He breathes deep and lets out a long sigh. He takes his time and stands up from the chair. He seems as if he's been in a physical battle. He looks around his gym, trying to remember all of the reasons he hung on to it. Harry walks over to the brick lying on the floor. He bends down and picks it up. He feels the weight of the brick in his hands. He walks over to the edge of the ring, places the brick on the corner. He picks up the bucket he used earlier with the bondage and bumps them out on the stage. He takes the empty bucket to the broken glass and picks up the shards and places them in the bucket. Once that is all cleared up, he takes the Amsterdam newspaper and reaches in the bucket and pulls out shards of glass. He wraps the broken glass in the newspaper and makes a nice, neat, heavily rectangular shape. He pulls the chair over the broken window and stands on the chair. He places the rectangle in front of the broken area. He steps down off the chair. He then goes over to the torn poster and dips it. He picks up the half from the floor and looks at it.
How did you know? How did you know that I would give up everything? You knew I'd walk away from my family and risk everything to fight you just once. Who helped you with your strategy? Who did your thinking for you? Who removed the war from your bones? The will for war that lies in every man once it's awoken. Why did it not awaken in you? How could you choose not to fight? Isn't it within all of us? How could you live with the title you didn't wholly earn? What kind of man are you? Only time in life you've been through a knockdown I've been so totally beaten. Only I have the power to make this right. I can choose to know what a man knows in his heart and to know it so absolutely with that absolution that I know God. I can take your power away and let you go. Split-second decision and it'll make it all gone. Win or loss will no longer matter. How do I slay this monster that grows inside of me?
Harry lays the top half of Dempsey's poster on the desk. He looks up towards the door, and Tony's standing in the doorway. Harry startles, and he jumps a bit.
Oh. Tony, you came back. Come on in, son. I was trying to clean up a bit. Maybe the boy was right. Keep this place, locked up like a museum or something.
Harry pushes the chair forward, trying to coax Tony into the seat. He steps back in case Tony won't enter because he is afraid.
Maybe I could train the boy, at least until he can find somebody better, to teach him the business a bit.
The ugly side?
No, well, he's been teaching me a thing or two. You two boys haven't let this old man off the ropes all day.
I just came to let you know that I am leaving tonight, and I will have my lawyer contact you about the sale of this property. I suggest you get all your stuff off the walls that means anything to you and take it home with you.
Sit down, son, please. Sit for a minute.
There is nothing to discuss.
Please, just for a minute.
1 minute.
I'm sorry, son. I didn't mean to put my hands on you. I would never want to hurt you.
Okay.
I know you think you missed out, son, and maybe on some levels you did, but I can assure you, you was better off without me there. I was on a mission and nothing stood in my way, son. I couldn't let it.
I was not important enough?
Yes, you were very important, but I lost the most, son. Because I chose the wrong things in life to make important to me.
I felt like a failure for a long time because you walked out on me. Like it was my fault.
It's not your fault, son. It's not your fault, but you can't never blame no man for who you are. Don't ever give no man credit for who you are and who you become. You be you, good, bad, and everything else.
You let that man, that white man, have your life. Our life is gone now. Does that mean anything to you? What's so funny?
I'm not laughing, boy. I'm just thinking about your mama. She was a feisty little woman. Feisty little woman. I remember when she first told me about you, I would box her stomach so gently, and I was hoping for a boy. I wanted to come out with your fist clenched, knocking a hole in the world. My tiny soldier. I was gonna have more reason to fight, but it gets lost, boy. Can you understand that? Can you understand how a burning in your stomach it gets diluted like a pill you take for a stomach ache, and you don't take the ache away. It just makes it so you forget for a while. You was the pain in my stomach, boy. My reason for fighting. The longer I was away, the more diluted you got, and I couldn't find the reason no more.
She wouldn't let me hate you, but I did anyway. I hated you when I was 5, standing outside my mother's door listening to her cry. I hated you when I turned 10 and you didn't show up for my birthday party after you promised my mama you would come. I hated you when you didn't come to my graduation. What father does not show up for his son's graduation?
I can't go back.
I don't want you to. Just tell me, how would you like me to handle the sale of this property? How much time do you think you need?
Son, I can't let you sell this place.
You really don't have a choice.
I'm holding on, son.
You will fight me on this?
That's all I got.
There you go.
What?
Choosing something before me.
Son, I don't know what you want from me. I've built a life. This is all I know.
You don't want to know me?
You don't want me to know you.
I do.
No, you don't.
You don't know what I want.
You are trying to punish me for the decisions I made a long time ago. I got to let go. I can't keep holding on, son. I can't. It's killing me.
I am so angry at you.
Tell me what you want me to do.
I don't know. You should know what to do.
I don't.
Tony gets up from his seat, hiding his emotion for a moment, and walks around the gym.
These men mean more to you than I do.
You keep trying to compare yourself and fit into a life that has nothing to do with you. You are trying to compete.
Isn't that all you know? Competition? Win? Lose? Draw? Knockdown? Why should the rules change for me?
There's nothing to change. The rules just don't apply to you, son.
You blame me, but it was not him, and you know it. I mean, you blame him, but it was not him, you know it. You have latched onto a story, and no matter what direction you look at, you either come out looking like the hero or the victim. Damn, you are good.
Tony.
No, I don't think you would tell the truth if your life depended on it. And I am sure you wouldn't tell it if mine depended on it.
I've told you the truth.
No.
What do you want to know, Tony?
It's Tony. It's Tony now, not boy. Perhaps you're getting ready to strangle me again?
I'm not going to put my hands on you.
I want to know the true story. What really happened with you and Dempsey? Not the version you've been claiming all these years. I know different.
Kevin enters with his plate of food and walks over to the ring and sits down. Harry lets out a big sigh. He stands up.
It wasn't Dempsey who refused to fight.
What?
Dempsey signed the contract. It was 1922 in June. We both signed, but Muldoon didn't want the fight to take place in New York. He wouldn't chance a Negro becoming world champion in his city. They would have burned New York to the ground.
New York's commissioner?
Rickett was trying to raise ticket prices, $2 a seat. They outpriced the working class, so no one could afford to go. They were either going to make it the richest payday any promoter had ever seen, or to make it impossible for me to fight. When my contract ran out, I sued the New York Commission, and you see what good it did.
And the money?
It was consolation. Perhaps to get me to stop suing. It was more important that they make the situation go away rather than shoveling coal on a fire that was already too hot to handle. 6 years. I waited to fight that thing.
You have been carrying hate. You have been carrying hate for a man who did nothing to you.
I won't say that.
I would.
It's not something you can understand so simply.
You have blamed everybody for your situation. You make people feel sorry for you. You make them feel angry about your situation.
Isn't injustice based on the color of a man's skin enough?
Sure, it's plenty, but we all are caught up in a time of prejudice and hate. And there are people who are trying to end segregation, and it may take another 90 years before we see any change.
Maybe never.
But your hardship is no more devastating than mine. The colored man next door who can't feed his family, or the death of Emmett Till. Why do you have to win the world championship on pain?
I think we should keep things separate but equal myself. Negroes need to stick together. White people don't like us at all. Why would anybody want somebody to stand side by side with somebody they hate? Just because the law says so. Hell, they won't have to come sneak into our house at night to kidnap us. We'll be going out looking for them to lynch us. That's stupid. But what about you, Tony? I don't get you.
What?
Ever since you walked in here, you've been trying to make Mr. Wills pay for his mistake. You have no love for this man, so why don't you leave? Why are you bent on destroying him? I don't get it.
He is not my father.
I wish I had a father.
He was never there for me.
Neither was mine. He died before I ever got a chance to know him. But if I could speak to him now, I would not be trying to destroy him.
I'm not.
You are. Even more since you came back from the train station. Where's that Ruby gal you've been going on about anyway?
Cut the grass.
You better save that talk for your desegregation friends.
What do you know about anything? You're sleeping in this place. You have reason to want it saved.
Hey, I'll be moving on soon.
So what do you care? It's not your father.
As we saw, Mr. Wills can handle himself. But anytime you want to graduate from a strangling to an ass whooping, you just let me know.
Tony leans on the desk to look down. He says his line in a barely audible voice.
She wasn't there.
What?
She wasn't there.
I would not have been there either. You are a miserable person, just mean for no reason.
Okay, that does it. I'm leaving.
Son, don't go. I'm sorry she wasn't there.
The women are just wishy-washy. What can you say?
I was going to marry her.
She'll come back. Do you know how many times your mama left me before you was born?
No.
Plenty. Sometimes she's just testing you. I remember me and your mama had been out one night, not too long after you was born, and it was 2 days before I was about to fight Bartley Madden. Well, I took your mama to a club, and this man spills a drink on her. He apologizes, but your mama is grinning and acting like a silly Cheshire cat. Then the man takes out his handkerchief and begins to dab her breasts. Well, your mama knew I had a temper, and she runs behind me. As soon as I pull my fist back to lay that Negro out, I get this pain in my elbow. I turn around, and your mama is laid out on the floor with her 2 front teeth stuck in my elbow.
Oh my goodness.
I couldn't believe it. My China doll laying there like that.
You hit my mother?
I didn't mean to hurt her. Yeah, I wouldn't hurt your mama for nothing in this world. But a part of me did feel a sense of relief seeing her lying there looking all pitiful and missing her 2 front teeth. Because wouldn't nobody look at her the same, and I could live with her like that. I mean, but your mama got her teeth fixed, and I hit the road. Had to, or I would have killed somebody.
You think that's funny?
I'm not laughing at your mother. I was laughing at the situation. Her 2 front teeth sticking out, Mr. Will's elbow is kind of funny. I don't know how you can't find the humor in it.
How about I wipe that grin off your face?
Whatever you say, Mr. Stationary Man. What are you gonna do? Mail me hateful postcards?
Tony bolts to the ring and stands above Kevin. Kevin stands up. Harry stands and heads towards the ring.
No.
Don't forget to spray perfume on your letter, pretty boy.
Tony does
Tony?
not.
You sucker.
Yeah, that's right. I'm mean for no reason. Laugh at my mama now. I can't hear you.
Kevin regains his footing and he charges Tony, grabbing his thighs and lifting him up off his feet and laughing and landing him onto his back. The 2 boys scurrying to gain control. Harry's trying his best to step up into the ring.
You punk.
I'll kill you.
You are weak. You hit a man when he's not looking. What man taught you that? Is that? Oh, that's right. You was raised by women. You used to cat scratch fighting.
Kevin, get up. Get off of him.
I'm going to teach you how to fight like a man. Teach you what I learned in the backwoods of Mississippi.
Kevin raises up and punches Tony across his face. He swings again, just as Harry is up in the ring and grabbing his collar and punches Tony in the nose. Blood squirts everywhere. Harry pulls Kevin back with such force he almost falls out of the ring backwards over the broken rope. Tony stumbles to his feet and tries to kick Kevin, but he loses his balance. All 3 men are on the canvas. Harry reaches and grabs Tony. He pulls him close, hugging both boys close to him.
You feel it, don't you, boy? Coursing through your veins like lava. She'll burn a hole right through your skin, like a gaping hole for all sorts of things to hide and fester. Call her name, boy. Call her name.
Ruby.
No, her name ain't as pretty as that, boy. Her name is anger. Say it. You can call her. You can call her pain. You can call her hate. We just bred that way, boy. We hold her close and can't let her go. She the woman that keeps getting. She keeps getting up, going. She helps us survive under the darkness. You ain't got to make you ain't gonna make it without her. Learn how to control her, boy. Don't let her rule you. As much as she can give you to survive, she can take it all away and destroy you, boy. Destroy everything you ever had. Your dreams, your heart, your ability to see what's standing right in front of you. Come on.
He draws his son tight to him. He lets Kevin go and gently pushes him away. He points his finger at Kevin and then up to a high shelf over this desk. There's a faded box Kevin never noticed before. Harry signals to Kevin to bring him the box. Kevin gets up and goes up to the box and brings it to Harry.
I got something to give you, boy.
Harry slides the extremely dusty box closer. He balances himself, keeping his son close and in front of him. Tony melts into his father's arm like a child. Harry carefully pulls back the tissue paper inside that exposes its content. Even Kevin leans in to see.
Oh my God. You wore these the night you fought Charlie Weiner. You learned on that man. KO'd him in round 2. You knocked him down so hard his feet stayed in the air for 7 seconds.
Harry takes the boxing gloves out of the box. He holds them up to Tony to see. He places one glove in Tony's lap and points out something to him.
You see that, son?
Tony takes the glove and really examines it. He looks very hard at the glove, then up at his dad.
That's you.
Me?
Yes.
You did this?
I had them gloves specially made by a seamstress who does special work, Mildred. She introduced me to this young artist who was real good with paints, and he drew your picture on here. Mildred stitched everything, and it looks just like you.
That's my mom.
Yes.
Can I see that? Wow.
Your face in my fist gave me all I needed to kill a man. You was my motivation for everything, son.
Oh man, dig it. Let's say you and me get the dust off of these things.
Give me those.
Do you want me to write a letter or take them back? See how much of your daddy blood is really in your veins. It is hard to tell with you skulking and fighting like a female cat. You gonna fight at the top of your old man? Help him up. You stand on the side, Mr. Will. You might need to coach your son through his lessons.
Kevin continues to dance around and Tony goes to help his father on his feet. Harry looks at Tony. Tony's trying to stand tough. Harry's afraid to say anything to his son because he knows he needs to let his son be a man. Father and son stand there in the ring staring at each other. Kevin continues to dance around outside the ring, throwing flurry punches with the gloves hanging around his neck. Harry steps to the end of the ring, holding on to the ropes and steps down. He walks over to Kevin, who is dancing, and Kevin stops and faces Mr. Wills. No words are spoken. Harry reaches for the gloves around Kevin's neck and removes them. Kevin lowers his head and does not say a word. Harry walks back to the ring where Tony is standing and tries to climb in. Tony goes to help his father. Both father and son are now facing each other in the ring. Harry lifts the glove and presents them to Tony. Tony stares at the gloves. He is angry, but he is afraid. Finally, he takes the gloves. The silence is cut immediately with Kevin screams.
Woo-hoo! We got our first fight. Champion is coming out of here tonight. I told you. I told you.
Harry turns away and heads back out of the ring. He reaches under the ring and begins to pull out tape, the stool, old water bottles.
It's going to be a showdown at the hoedown.
Let me take those hands, son.
Yeah, we don't want to break them on those pretty little fingers. He might not be able to hold a pencil no more.
Tony sits on the edge of the stage as Harry readies himself to tape his son's hands.
This that split second in which you have to make a decision, son. You got my blood in you, and that counts for something. Remember, balance. Don't keep your feet too wide, and don't get square. Stay small.
Harry's wrapping his son's wrists and hand as tight as he teaches him.
No scratching, kicking, biting, or windmilling.
Focus, boy. Tell her, calm her down so you can hear me. Tell her it's teamwork. Now, what's her name?
Anger.
Who is she working with? Huh? The heart and the head, son. The heart and the head. You have to think in the ring. She will drive you and send you into madness state and betray you. You cannot let her control you. Yeah?
Okay.
Listen to your papa, boy.
Now drive off your back foot where one foot goes, the other foot goes. You got me?
Yes.
All right. It's 1, 2, then counter. 1, 2, then count. Yeah, and don't forget to come back to position. Stay tight. Now, jab to the center. A man's chin is always in the center.
Okay.
Got it?
Harry finishes taping up Tony's hands and puts the gloves he wore while he was boxing on his son's hands. The two men stand there for a moment. It seems like Tony wants to hug his dad, but Harry turns away from him and calls Kevin over to him. Kevin steps in the ring. Tony goes and sits in the corner on a little stool.
All right, now I'm gonna see what you know, boy. Now is your time. All right, stand up, boy. Get the body warmed up. Keep moving.
You want your son to win, don't you?
2 men are fighting in the ring. That's all I see.
Harry reaches back down in the box and moves the tissue paper a bit more. There are a very old pair of boxing gloves. They are very small and don't have much padding in them.
And these was the gloves I wore when I first started out. They're yours.
Thank you, Mr. Will. Thank you.
Harry fits the glove on Kevin's hands and the 2 men step into the ring. They look at each other from across the ring.
Wake up, hot damn it! Ha! Wake up, Jack Johnson, and stand at attention. My son is in the ring. Wake up, Sugar Ray Robinson. You ain't never tasted nothing this sweet. It's war. It's war here. Get your gear, fighting Marine.
Harry stands in front of Glenn's Tony posters, clicks his heels and salutes him. As Harry is going around walking in the spirit of boxing, past the room is getting warmer. The colors begin to get bright and no longer seem washed out.
Come on out here, Shark Boy. It's new blood in the ring now.
Harry stands in front of Jack Sharkey's poster. Harry seems to have so much energy now. The men in the ring are dancing, footwork in their corners, rolling their heads around to loosen their necks up. Harry continues to make his way around the room.
Wake up, Joe Louis. Pound on these walls and wake them up. There's a Charles. Your presence is wanted at ringside. Wake up, Rock from the Brockton. Marciano, meet the new Wills. We will pound that world championship right out of your vocabulary. Wake up!
Harry sees the Jet magazine. He rolls it, places it in his back pocket. Harry goes to the back of the room. He grabs the half-torn poster of Dipsy and it's stuck it back on the wall.
Gather round. The room is alive. Do you feel it? Do you feel
Harry
it?
gets his boxing stance. He begins to throw punches, dancing fierce footwork. The room is filled with color. There's a very low, barely audible humming of cheering in the background. Harry is dancing and punching combinations, ducking and coming up and connecting with the air. His back foot is spinning off, and he looks young again. He's ducking, bobbing, and weaving.
Can you feel it? Oh, she is feeling it in my veins. Oh, I'm thinking like a man with a plan and say, heart has no fear. I'm in a split second. I'm in the moment. I have trained and I am conditioned. I am against 10 men in the room, and yet I am outmaneuvering them all.
The 2 men in the ring move towards. They are dancing around. Harry's caught up in his own world. The cheering is getting louder.
My doctors held me back, but my boys will see a brand new world. They will fight their way out of this hateful madness. Punch for punch, they will cripple their opponent and finally be free. They will do what I could not. Do not forget who I am. I am Harry Wills. I am the Brown Panther.
Harry says his last lines. Tony and Kevin each throw a right hook connecting on each other's jaw and freezes. Harry Wills throws a punch and freezes. All this happens simultaneously. As soon as the punches are thrown and the room is very bright and vivid with color, the cheers is super loud and it's a loud grunt, then boom, light flash. The end.
Thank you for joining us today for Faces in My Fist, written by Lisa McCree, directed by Darryl Wormely, featuring Andre Minkins as Harry Wills, Lawrence Winslow as Kevin Johnson, Joshua Eaddy as Tony Gibson, and Mintaka Brower as our narrator. And now we want to open up for our moderated critique session right now. This is an opportunity for you to offer comments to the playwrights. It'll be moderated by director Darryl Wormely, and Lisa McCree will be available as well. So I welcome them to the stage, and thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Absolutely amazing. Amazing feat. Awesome. The guys did an incredible job of bringing this to life. I'm so thankful to have been a part of this project. I don't know where is our wonderful writer going to join us. Hopefully she's there somewhere and she'll come on up. But oh my God, they really brought this to life. All the nuances were just incredible. Thank you so much. I'm just humbled to have been a part of this process to help bring Lisa's vision to life. Just super grateful for Garland Thompson and the Frank Silvera workshop for taking powerful pieces like this and in finding these pieces, or I should say, providing a platform where these pieces can be found, and then going through them and pulling these incredible pieces out and then putting them up for the world to see. Awesome. So Miss Lisa, are you there?
Miss Lisa, if you are there, can you unmute, please? And for any of the attendees, if you would like to make a comment, please feel free to use the Q&A function. We can also allow you to speak on the microphone as well.
Lisa is asking, can you make her a panelist?
1 second. Or Lisa, maybe if you can log out and log back in, that might take care of that. Thank you.
Okay, and so while we're waiting on Lisa, I'd love to just talk to the actors for a second here. You know, first of all, great job, guys, of bringing these characters to life. I'm excited about getting an opportunity to hear what you have to say as well, and polling some of these questions from those who had the opportunity to see this great work. But it seemed as though to me that you guys got in a rhythm and you began to find it. You began to find the voices that seem to have just started to jump up off the page. Just polling to any of you guys, could you share some of that right now with the audience? I'm gonna start with you, Tony Gibson. You seem to be able to go through peaks and valleys in terms of your emotions. I thought you did an outstanding job with that. of being able to bridle it and then being able to jump back into business, back into the emotional state, back into business again. Talk to us about that.
Well, I mean, as we see, this is a awesome piece that she wrote, and you know, the description, really, the direction is a lot in what's being said, and how, and the dialogue in between, with a few directions from you, of course, which is very helpful to recognize where those peaks and valleys are. So definitely try to dive in and just allow myself to really get into this character and feel those spots where, you know, I should feel angry, or I should feel, or stay business-like, and try not to show emotion, but at the same time knowing that, you know, like every boy or every girl, they always want their father involved in their lives, always. And yeah, he grew up without his father, but it's still something is always a void or missing that they still want to fulfill, even if they see him later on in life. I mean, they can hold a lot of anger and grudge for, you know, missing the early parts, but it's still some little bit of hope that's behind them to want to have that connection. So that helped with the character to understand that part. Like, yeah, I'm angry. Yeah, you let my mother pass and you didn't come check on us or come back to us. But at the same time, you know, what about us? Because now I don't have my mother. I have you. You know, I lost that person who really helped me grow up. And you were the second person, even though you wasn't a part of my life. But, you know, maybe there's something we could connect on, and you know, I could kind of lean on you now because I am lost. I'm lonely right now and I'm lost.
Wow, thank you so much for that. It's always fascinating to kind of see where you may draw from to bring this in, but you definitely seem to have found it in this performance. It was very, very convincing to me, and I hope our audiences saw what I saw. Thank you so much for that. Thank you so much. Kevin Johnson, played by Lawrence. Come forward, sir. When is he still there? Hey, sure. Kevin. Kevin, amazing. Some amazing work. I saw you as the glue here. I saw the rhythm in your voice of it being the rhythm to start to connect these pieces. You know, there's always a rhythm that starts to connect the fabric, and it seemed to be your voice today. Can you reflect on that for us, and if there was some inspiration for you to be able to find that in today's performance?
Well, you know, first of all, grateful to you guys to add me to the cast and to be able to inhabit this role. I think it's an excellent piece written by Lisa. Lisa and I have talked about that before. I think that you know, it's always great to be able to inhabit a character like this young man who has a dream. Okay, he's part of the Southern migration north. He's a man who, you know, a Black man who comes north, who has a dream and a purpose to fulfill. You know, for a reason. He's got, you know, his lady that he knows is coming. She's pregnant. You know, with his son. He sees the future ahead of him, and you know, he wants to be great. Guy wants to be great, wants to be a champion. He sees that, you know, in Mr. Wills as being a mentor and a teacher and somebody that can guide him and show him the way. You know, and certainly, you know, I mean, one of the great things about writing characters like these and plays like these are you have, you know, flawed characters, and he finds that in Mr. Wills, who he thinks is, you know, a champion that had a chance, and he's got questions, as young people will do, and young Black men will have for older Black men. You know, why did this happen? Why did you do this? What did you go through? How could you give up? You know, and when they think, you know, when I'm sure, you know, people who have children, they think they know it all, and you know, when Mr. Wells tells them, son, you don't. I was in a position. I had to do what I had to do. I had a family at stake. And if I had to take the dive for 50,000, for 50 grand, 50K, 50K is on the floor, I had to pick that up at that moment. That's not to say that, you know, if it were another moment and he had that opportunity that he wouldn't, but at that moment, that's what he needed to do. So it's painful for him. He carries those ghosts and those demons. So for me, it's that search for the truth and trying to find out, you know, what happened when I get the information. So I think you know, it's a wonderful journey for you know, all these characters. You know, for myself, for Tony to come up, for Mr. Wills to you know, I'm sure it's painful explaining that. But as a character as Kevin Johnson, yeah, just that exuberance, that energy, and hopefully, you know, I felt like I was able to bring that the spirit of that character inhabited me, and I was able to, hey, listen, understand and find out, and also, you know, get a chance to get some licks in the ring, and you know, at the end, and see what that's all about. But yeah, I think the play is good timing. Great. I think that this is part of what you don't see right now. Are Black men telling their story. You know, and it's you know, I'm just grateful that you guys were that I was able to be able to add to this. It's wonderful. And thank you for your notes and your comments, Darryl. They were great. I thought about them overnight, man, and definitely jumped into and was able to add that to today. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Well, we definitely felt your energy, and we definitely felt that connection that you brought, because like I said, you definitely, for me, was the character who connected this father and son and kept pace throughout this piece. So thank you so very much. Thank you. And then let's move on to our main character, Mr. Harry Wills, played by Mr. Andre Minkins. Andre, oh man, what can I say? What can I say? You definitely found the voice. I was never worried. I knew you'd find it. You found it. I certainly felt like the pacing from the Kevin Johnson character, that tone that he brought was going to bring your tone where it needed to be. And it was a formula for success. So talk to us about that.
Thank you, man. I'm so pleased to be in another one of Lisa's pieces, and I love her work, reading her plays. So kudos. And then your direction is the second piece that you directed me in. The first piece wasn't intentional. You had to direct. And, but this one, man, I thank you so much for your direction. Trying to get the rhythm was too fast, and one rehearsal was too slow, and another one, so I was like, how am I going to find this? And I've played, I've played other, I've done other biopics. Now I'm just learning about Wills, and I'm going to study up on him some more. But I've done Mandela, I've done MLK, Malcolm, but this character to me is right up there with needing to find that person, that voice, that rhythm. I want to see if I can find any kind of audio on his voice, but I found some clips of him as a boxer, but I don't know as an older man if there are any interviews out there. But yeah, in this piece, I called Lisa when I had to listen to it, because I was in another show that just ended yesterday, so I had to listen to it a lot, and I called her and said, Lisa, I'm about to cry here, because you capture so well these relationships that men have to navigate between. I was that character growing up, hoping that I was Tony Gibson. My mom wouldn't let me hate my dad and so that line rung true, having heard him say that. And then I was grateful he came to my graduation, though, unlike Tony. But and so that really did start the relationship anew after he did that, and some other things here and there he would do periodically. It wasn't like he disappeared and I didn't know where he was altogether. But a male child feels that way. I know females do too, but in a way, with as far as manhood is concerned. Then I had cousins who would put me in. So I had a little. You saw I was trying to do some of the little boxing moves that that I did have in my arsenal, because I had older male cousins, at least 5 years older than myself. And because I was being, you know, like Lisa says, and they would throw me in the air sometimes doing karate moves, and I was like, what's wrong with these guys? Or I literally got hit on the chin and got knocked out one time, and that taught me to keep my hands up. So I've been in this ring before, as a person growing up. They would consider that abuse now, I guess, but that's how I learned to fight and to stay strong, and how to find, try to find my manhood in that. So this piece definitely reflects that. Again, I had to change shirts because, the little box that even though it's for display, it takes a little bit out of you.
Takes energy. Absolutely.
A lot of energy. Some ice baths need to happen after this show.
Yeah. Well, I say this: your boxing movements were very natural. They were very convincing. You guys had such an organic rhythm to your voices, and a rhythm started to happen. And like I said, I was just over here. I was just completely overjoyed with what I started to hear here. So like I said, I knew and I felt very strong that once these voices got together, that those rhythms and those voices would be found. And it looked like I was correct in that. So
thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Lisa, any lines I messed up, I'm sorry, but I was trying to find that rhythm. But thank you.
You found it.
Right.
You found it, my brother. You found it.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. And to the person of the hour, Miss Lisa McCree, thank you so much for bringing this well-done piece to the table. Kudos, my sister. Let's talk about it. And of course, I want to get something from you. And then, of course, I want to take a few questions from our audience. I know who have burning questions about what was in your head and the inspiration and all that good stuff, with bringing this piece to life.
Thank you. Everyone did such an awesome job. Thank you guys so much for pulling in. I really appreciate you. Your talents are amazing. And everyone who joined at the last moment and just pulled this together. I'm so grateful to you. Thank you, Garland, and everyone who came today. Thank you so much for your support. So this play was one that I wrote because I think that a lot of people say to me, well, you're a woman, how do you write for men? And I think the basic essence of the pain of not having a father is sort of, doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman, the pain is the same. So some of that I was able to borrow in a conversation that, I would have liked to have had, some of the things that I would have liked to have said. I'm just excited about the piece. This is my first time hearing it. Well, the rehearsal yesterday was. So I kind of wrote it and put it on the shelf, and I'm glad that Garland called and he was like, do you have something with 3 characters? And I was like, I think I do. And this was it. So thank you all.
Well, definitely great moments are born out of a few moments, just like this, just like in the nick of time, do you have something? Who would have ever thought that type of power was sitting on the shelf? Just sitting there. Oh yeah, I think I got something. Let me reach in and grab it. It changes generations, and it creates nations. So I want to say thank you so much. I am just so privileged for having the opportunity to be in position to just have something to do with this piece. Incredible actors. You did an incredible job grabbing these guys together or getting these guys together. Great piece of writing. Wow.
I do think too, Darryl, that the important thing too is that we learn our history, because most people don't know of Harry Wills, the Brown Panther. Gertrude Jeanette's husband was a boxer back in the 20s. And so these Black boxers basically fought Black boxers over and over again because they weren't allowed, the boxing commissions made it really difficult for Black champions to sort of take the heavyweight champion of the world. And this is based on a true story. So the boxing commissioner of New York did make it so that Harry Wills would never be able to fight because they were really afraid that he was going to become the champion. And the boxing commissioner was like, not on my watch, you know, not in New York. They will burn New York to the ground. So I think with everything that Jack Johnson went through, there were just certain places, you know, in the North that were not trying to have it. So they just ended up fighting each other over and over again. And they strung Mr. Wills along. So this play was basically the conversation he would have. What demons would he fight since he never got to fight? It's just like a decision that you make and then you look back and say, I wonder if I would have made that decision. So that was kind of, you know, what motivated me to do this. What kind of demons is he fighting? And that's why I wanted all of the boxers on the wall. And I wanted him to call all of those boxers, you know, to present now so that he could give to his son, you know, in those last moments, something that he was never able to give him growing up.
Wow. You know, your works and your writings are so widespread. You know, I can't take a dart and throw it and say, okay, you know, that specifies her work. I mean, it's so widespread. You know, you write on so many different themes, so many different subjects. You know, it's just amazing. My question is, you know, what was that moment like to choose this work? What do you remember what you were doing when you said, I'm going to write about a boxer and about his anger and the demons? Do you recall what you were doing when you picked this work? Because I know one thing about you, once you set your brain to that work, that's it. You become total tunnel vision and you work on it to the finish.
Well, the truth of it is when I was going to school and you know, I majored in theater. And I had to take an independent study in playwriting as one of my extracurricular courses. And I did this playwriting class, but I had waited till the last minute. And I kept saying, I'm gonna get it done, I'm gonna get it done. And I think it was like Saturday, and had to turn it in for my final grade, which was on Monday. And I was like, Lisa, you need to sit down and write something. So I sat down and wrote it that night. So in less than 12 hours. But one of the things that I feel is my blessing and my gift is that a lot of times when I'm writing, I don't just think, oh, because I'm such a great writer. I think that I get a lot of help from the ancestors, like I channel, because I can feel myself going into being that boxer or being Kevin or being that son. And I'll sit at my computer and I laugh and I cry, I weep sometimes. So yeah, it's really a gift from God, and that's who I have to give it to him, because yeah, that's
awesome.
Right. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, looks like we got some questions coming up. Let's go ahead and start bringing those questions in. I'm sure Lisa is just ready to take them and to answer them.
Okay.
Yeah, let's take them.
Okay, first I want to acknowledge several congratulations, Lisa. Beautiful writing, reading several comments, lovely reading by actors. Thank you for your great work, people are saying. And job well done from Dwayne Austin. The actors really brought it all to life. Shelby, good job, everyone. Let's see, Miss Janet Hill, great performance. These actors brought the depth of each character to life. The piece and themes are applicable to what often happens in our families and communities even today.
Yeah.
Congratulations. We do have a question. The question is from Levi Simon.
Lee
Simon. And she says, congratulations, Lisa, beautiful writing. And her question is about discovery of Kevin in the space and how quickly he accepted him.
You're talking about Harry, Harry Wills. Yeah, so I think that, sometimes we go back and forth when the writing. Sometimes I don't want to like belabor. Uh-oh, I'm sorry. My cat is having her way behind the screen. She's messing with my camera. Okay. I didn't want to belabor that introduction. I probably could have drawn it out a little bit more, but I just wanted to kind of get into the story, because I think that as much as Harry may be saying, why are you in my property, that there's a part of him that needs to keep this place alive. You know what I mean? There's a part of him that needs a Kevin, to kind of start him on this journey, because he's locked himself away. He's locked up the gym. He comes every so often to check on it. So even when Kevin said, I'd been here for a month, you can tell that he hadn't been there for a month, because he didn't even know that he was there. I hope I'm answering your question as I understood it.
Okay, great job. And we have Rafiq, who would like to make a comment on the mics. Open that up. So go ahead, Rafiq. Just unmute yourself.
You're on mute, Rafiq.
Or put it in the chat. Okay, but let's see if we have any other comments or questions.
Okay.
Okay. I'm here.
There we go.
Hi, Lisa. I'm Lisa's neighbor at Arch Space in Bridgeport. And I am grateful totally for being here, for sitting through this. And someone said very quickly, one of the actors said that these are Black men telling their story. I think that's important, but more important than that is that it's a Black woman telling the story of Black men, a Black woman trying to get into the heads of Black men, and she does it remarkably well. She infuses them with character, flawed as that character may be, because naturally we are all human and we are all flawed. I think that's the key that Lisa has done successfully, getting into the minds of these of Black men. And let's try and see a Black man getting in the mind of Black woman. Oh my God, a woman's mind is no man's land. And Lisa, congratulations. I thoroughly enjoyed this, especially the moment when the father and the son are talking about the mother that the son never had. That was pretty gripping. And I just absolutely take my cap off to you. And I look forward to seeing you here for over a cup of tea. Thanks again for the privilege of being here.
Thank you, Rafiq.
Awesome.
Thank you so much, Rafiq. And if anyone else wants to go on mic, you can raise your hand. You'll find that feature down in the reactions button at the bottom of your screen. Love to hear from you. Or any other questions or comments?
Don't be shy.
Don't be shy.
I'll say this, while they're getting that together and people are making that decision to comment, when the question came in about the quick acceptance of Kevin Johnson by Harry Wills, I thought that was a great answer, because I got that feel as well as I went through the script, that something deep down in him wanted him to keep that place alive. We see how much he did not want to give it up. That's all he had left. He had allowed anger. He had allowed all these demons to snatch everything else away from him. And this is all he has left. Great response, because I felt that and I never questioned it the first time as I read through the script. I always make these notes, but that was one of them, which I'm very happy though that question was asked. But yes, the writing, the brilliance of the writing, and the going into the mindset of Harry Wills who have lost everything else, it seemed to make sense that even before he said it, we got that feeling that he definitely wanted to hold on to it and wanted someone else along with him to keep it alive.
I think Levy has his hand up.
Yeah, go ahead, Levy.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Mhm.
Oh, great. Well, Lisa, congratulations. Beautiful piece of writing. And the play to me is there. You have all the components of a wonderful, wonderful piece. I love that you chose Harry Willis. I mean, I know and knew of him, but you definitely gave me an insight into his life that I didn't know, which is always great to get that educational value. I'm aware of Joe Jeanette, of course, through Gertrude Jeanette and all that. The question that I have is that, well, the comment too is that I wanted to know more, which is always a sign of a good play, right? And I wanted to know more about, especially about the what made Harry leave his wife. What was that moment, right, where he just left? I gotta go, and I'm not coming back. What was that specifically? I mean, you allude to it, but I think it's important to know that, right? I wanted to know more about Tony and what it was like for him. There was a comment made about a phone call when he was supposed to come to a party when he was 10. So was he talking to his dad over the phone, or well, actually it was through his mother that he got the information? So were they talking like that? Did he have that, at least that? I wanted to be more specific about that. And I love the Kevin Johnson character. The only thing, like I said, alluded to in the chat, was when he discovers him in the gym. It seemed like it was, and I know you got 90 minutes. It's a play. You want to be economic about moving the story along and all that. But I think the writer's job too is to figure that out. How to get that information in and still move it along. As opposed to like saying, okay, well, I got to move it along. But I want to, as a viewer, I don't want to be taken out. I'm gonna question that. Someone, a stranger in your space, needs to be in. At least that's my thought about it. And that's all. Again, congratulations. It's a beautiful piece, and it's ready. It's ready for someone to say, "Hey, I want to do this. I want to put it up." That's what I got. Thanks.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm gonna look at that. With the mother part, I could have fleshed it out more. But yeah, and I think he alludes to it that because of his anger and he had to fight, teaching his being about, I have a dream and I'll let nothing stand in my way. But I think because of the way that he loved the wife, he had to leave because he stayed so jealous of her all the time. He was always getting himself into fights. And that's why he said, I had to leave, or else I would have went to jail. So I can probably, flesh it out more. It doesn't need to be like a whole scene, but I can definitely bump that up. And then the connection with Tony. So thank you.
We have time for a couple more questions or comments from anyone. Don't be shy.
Can I say something?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know a couple of former students whose fathers left, and a lot of times and even talked to my dad about it later on in years. Usually there's an incident that gets them so close to going to jail that they decide it's time to leave, or they get threatened by somebody, or they know that the law or some dude who could take them out is looking for them. A lot of times they'll leave because of that. I don't know if that helps at all, but that might be something as you flesh it out that could just help turn the corner for that. Yeah.
Yeah, I just had a quick comment, just dovetailing off of what Levy Lee said. So, and I just want to be sure and clarify that. So, Levy Lee, you're saying you were bringing up the question of Kevin Johnson in the gym. You're talking about the acceptance, correct? That it seems like that is kind of glossed over and not really explained as to why somebody showing up at the gym would be accepted. I just want to make sure that I'm clear on that, because I didn't really hear you frame the question unless you put it in the chat, which I might have missed.
Yeah, well, I don't know if it's more of a question or comment, but my what took me out in that moment was, you own a property, and then you get to that property, no matter what condition it's in, it's yours, and you find a stranger there that you don't know, you've never met, you've never seen him, and so how does that go from that moment of stranger in my property, not knowing whether this is a dangerous situation or not, to them becoming, intimate in conversation? And there's got to be that, well, not got to be, it don't have to be anything, but I would think that the challenge is where that moment happens when Wills relaxes and goes, okay, I'm going to listen and accept this guy, being here and, embracing the moment. That's what I'm talking about.
Okay, great. Thank you for that clarification.
Okay, yeah, because I think what I did was, so with the brick coming through the window pretty early on, and I think it's like page 2 or the top of page 3 that the brick comes through. Crisis usually sometimes changes the situation. And with Kevin running out so fast, Harry feels the need to protect him. Like, why are you running out there? And there's a lesson in that. So I'll definitely take another look at that. But that's why, oh gosh, so anybody want a cat? Move, Bella. Okay. And that's why I wanted to have that interruption come, because something unites them. Yeah. And I think because this cat is young, he's in a gym. It's not like he's in his house. He kind of has a feeling of why somebody would be there. You know what I'm saying? But I can flesh it out more. Thanks.
Let me also add this, Lisa, also the fact that Kevin Johnson, he's enamored by him. He knows his entire backstory. And that makes a difference as well, to see that this guy who has basically, again, seemed to have failed on all cylinders almost. He never got the big fight he wanted or he felt he deserved. And here's one person who comes up and even though he is definitely a little angered at him about being in his place, this guy definitely shows that he's in the Henry Wills business. He knows all about him. I've studied you. I'm enamored by you. You're one of my idols, etc. So I thought that as well, along with the glass, with the brick going through the glass, that changes the trajectory of things. I thought it also helped in that moment.
Okay.
I agree with that, Darryl. I mean, especially with Kevin knowing,
right,
aspects of well, I don't necessarily, the glass coming through, that could also be a dangerous thing. With someone you don't know, it's like could that brick be for Kevin? Again, he doesn't know him. He doesn't. Kevin runs out. He doesn't know the guy. So, but the more along the lines of what you just said, Darryl, that Kevin knows so much about Wills. That that is definitely more on the lines of what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But point well taken. And thank you so much for that feedback.
Okay, and we also have Miss Betty McCree has raised her hand. Miss McCree?
Hello, you hear me?
Yes. Go ahead,
Hi.
please.
Um, Congratulations, Lisa. I'm
Thank you.
always proud of you. Always proud of you. I'd like to get an idea, where do you see this particular play going? You think it could be a short film, or uh, I think I would like to see you doing a short film, but however, where do you see yourself going with this?
Good question, Mom. um, so, I mean, I would like to see it on stage. I would like to see it on stage. I don't mind it being a short film, but I would definitely like to see it on the stage because, well, I'm a stage baby anyway, theater brat. So I would definitely like to see it on the stage because I think there's so many things that a director could pull out in those little nuances and things, those moments. So, I mean, if I had the opportunity, yeah, I would definitely say stage it or shoot it. So sky's the limit.
Awesome.
I could see it as a feature film too.
Awesome. All wonderful feedback, because all of this goes into that tremendous tunnel that I call Lisa's brain. That's gonna help her figure some of these things out. So we definitely is enjoying all this feedback that you're bringing.
I see Janae is here. You want to say anything? Jack is here. Who else is here? If you guys want to, Barbara is here. Dwayne, you guys want to say anything? Jeanette?
If you'd like to go on mic, just go to the reactions button down at the bottom of the toolbar and hit raise your hand. Thank you. And we have Dwayne Austin. Would like to make a comment or have a question? Go ahead, Dwayne.
Good evening. Job well done. I just want to say job well done. I did make it on late, and I want to thank the cast for doing a great job with the animation as they were reading. I really enjoyed every single one. I do have to give an MVP to Harry, who I felt did a job very well. It reminded me of a movie actually I was watching last night, and I was going to ask maybe if it could be turned into an animation. I was watching a movie called Chance. It's a very low budget movie, but it's an animation that's kind of a documentary, but it was very good storytelling. And I really thought that, just closing my eyes, having Harry speak or listening to him while he was speaking, that he had a really good animated voice, that can bring a character to life. So I see this, although, for screenplays, my first love is play. I really see this maybe being like a screen, an animation, just a thought, if you wanted to explore that avenue. But very proud of you as well, and job well done. Looking to see a lot more, and I would very much like to see this out there so that the masses can appreciate it just as much as we did today.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Okay, we have time for one or two more questions or comments. Thank you so much for everyone participating. Okay, I think that wraps up this fantastic reading and moderated critique session. Thank you so much, Darryl Wormely, our director, and of course, Lisa McCree, our playwright, and for everyone in attendance. We're so happy to be relaunching FSWW's reading series. We're powered by Zoom Catchers, and we're helping make the world a better place, one reading at a time. Thank you so much for being here. We'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.